G'day everybody, Ted Dean here, and I am going to show you how you can use the top models as well as keeping your costs under control. Because at the moment, we have got wild spending going on. Now, I don't often say this, but I think OpenAI really have figured this one out. Because what they've done is what I consider fantastic. Now, if I go to and I'll explain in a minute, but if I go to my usage, you'll see that my usage patterns have drastically changed this month. And it is fantastic. So you can see here from around the 17th of July, my credit usage and my token usage was really high. And then it almost looks like it's just completely flatlined. And the same sort of goes here as well. Now, if I hover over some of these models, what you'll notice is I've changed my pattern. So if I hover over ChatGPT 5.6 Sol, you can see how my usage has just dramatically decreased on that particular model. But on ChatGPT 5.6 Lunar, it has increased. So this one here might actually be a better one. So there is my Sol usage, right? Because I was pretty much using it all the time. And this is my Lunar usage. So here is the reason why. Let me show you this graph. Where are we? Here we go. So if you go to this site here, right, you can look at the same graphs that I'm looking at. I often come here to break down, the performance of different models and how they work and so on and so forth. Now, if we come down to costs versus the intelligence index, I want you to notice something here. If I look at, if I look at all the models, and I first of all look at ChatGPT 5.6 Sol. It's on the intelligence level of 59 and a cost of $1.23. So the higher up we are here, the better. And the lower we are on this axis, the better. All right. So anything within this sort of green area is like really attractive. Like this is a good area for us to be in. All right. If you notice, like the people that complain about the cost of running ChatGPT and OpenAI's models and also Claude, they are outside, like most of those models are outside of that green box. So there's probably a more efficient way. Now, here we have Sol 5.6 outside of the box. It's got a fairly high index level, not that much different to Opus 5 and Fable 5 and so forth. Like it's really very marginal difference. And the cost is up there as well. So it's 59. However, if I look at Lunar Max, the cost is phenomenally cheaper, like multitudes cheaper, right down here. The intelligence index is not significantly different. So the cost versus the intelligence, there's a far higher payoff here. However, using Lunar Max by itself, you do know what I've noticed is that you can see that the intelligence level just isn't quite there. It's good, but it's just not quite there. Using Max, like Sol Max and Lunar Max in combination, the outputs I've actually recently found the outputs are actually better with that combination than using Sol Max all by itself. This is how I've been using it. So let me go into ChatGPT. Now, I've got this task that I did yesterday, and it was a big one. Like it was huge. Just this one task. I did a lot more that day, but just this one task. So what I do now is I start off in ChatGPT, and I'm pretty sure you can do this in Claude. I just don't think they've figured it out as well as what OpenAI have, because they have really figured this one out. So here's the prompt. Basically, what I want it to do, I put it into Sol High. I don't use Max. I use High. I could probably use Max, but most cases I end up using High. I put it into Sol High. I then ask it to create a plan. Right. So I uploaded all my documents and I wanted to create a plan for I think this one was for a learning guide for this particular module. This is for an RTO. And it puts together an absolutely awesome plan. Okay. I didn't get it to create a document because I'll show you the doc in a sec. But this cost me in my weekly usage around 5-6% of my weekly usage. So if I wanted to do this, if I had 4 or 5 of these, then I'd pretty much almost be, really chipping away at my usage. I'd be beyond 50%. And yeah, especially if I got it to actually complete the task on making the Word document and so forth. But it's put together a fantastic plan. And I did specifically tell it to only create the plan. And I was planning on giving it to Lunar Max to actually complete the plan. All right. So there you go. Big long plan. Got it. Took about 5% of my usage. Why did it take up so much of my usage, you're saying? When, you could be on an individual plan and it probably wouldn't have done anywhere near as much. Well, this leads me to one of my biggest gripes that I've got with OpenAI. If there's one thing that OpenAI have got completely wrong and I want them to fix it before the sun sets today, it is their pricing. All right. Let me show you. This is totally frustrating. If I'm an individual and I'm not a business and I'm an individual plan, I can be on $0, $8 or a $20 plus plan. I've also got the option to be on a $100 plan, which actually gives me 5 times the usage that I have on the $20 plan, right? I would love that. In actual fact, if you put this strategy together and you're on the $100 plan, I think it would almost be impossible for you to even get through your weekly usage. But there's also a $200 plan, which gives me 20 times as much, right? Great. I would love that as a business owner, because as a business owner, all I get is the measly $20 plan. This one, right? The $20 plan. That's why this one task, just to plan out, do that plan, cost me about actually it was closer to 7% of my weekly usage. It is frustrating. I would be back here, and when I did this task right here, I remember the day, I went through 4 weekly resets. 4 weekly resets, right? I love it that OpenAI gives us resets, but like, why do I burn through? Look, I can tell you, 5.6 Sol is really bad at burning through lots of credits. It does it. However, let's move on. That's my gripe. It is fantastic for planning out the task. After I've got the complete plan and I'm happy with it, because you can see it's really complete, it's super long, I then change my model here to Lunar Max. And I tell it, use Lunar Max. You can even create sub-agents. Sub-agents are a game changer. You can see that it's spawned up 3 sub-agents to complete this task, right? If I did that in Sol, I would have gone through my weekly usage just like that, because that's what happened when I had to reset my weekly usage 4 times. This whole process here with 3 sub-agents only took 2%, 2% of my weekly usage. I mean, you can see just from the chart right here how much more efficient this is, right? You can just see it right here. The task that I did was big. So it ended up giving me three, just for this one module, and I did 2 modules. So this is doubled, right? It gave me 2 Word documents. So this is one. So this is the learning guide. This is nearly 70 pages of information, tables and everything. 70 pages of text. It created for me, one shot. Feedback I got, it's given us all the information, and it's fantastic. Like it worked well. It also gave me the assessment as well, because when you need to have your learning guide, and then you need to make sure that you can assess that the knowledge has been transferred. It's all here. This is something like it's 26 pages long. It's been cross-referenced and everything. Like, this is it. All of this done. That was done. And then last but not least, learning materials. It also created for me the PowerPoint, for me or for whoever is going to be delivering this. All of this was created, right? Images, everything was created with about 2% of my weekly usage using Lunar Max. When I was using Sol by itself without sub-agents, because I wanted to save my credits, because I tell you, as soon as Sol spawns up sub-agents, it just cooks your credits. I did not get anywhere near as good a result as this. Nowhere near it. So the result is better, and the cost is significantly less. So if there's a strategy that you'd want to adopt that I want you to take away from this video, that is, if you have a complex task, start in Sol. If you are using Claude, start with Fable 5. Sonnet 5, I've heard, is not as good. So start with Fable, get Fable to come up with the plan, and then bring it back down to a lower model to actually execute the task. After it's executed, then get Fable, or in ChatGPT world, get 5.6 Max to then check the work and make sure that there's no corrections. If there's anything that needs to be updated, I've found that it rarely comes up with any suggestions on improvements. Then send it back to your sub-agents in the correct thing. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope that you've got something out of this video. If you did, then maybe consider subscribing to the channel to get more information on some hacks just like this one. But if you want the best performance out of your models without breaking the bank, then this is the thing that you really need to start doing right now. That's enough from me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and bye for now.
Thank you for watching AI Masters Dojo, where you master the art of AI. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. To learn more about what we cover here on the channel, make sure to check out the dojo using the links in the description below. Drop your questions or thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, keep striving to master the art of AI. See you in the next video.